Hello there and welcome to Sister. It's another brand new week and we're totally thrilled to come your way once again. My name is Jessica and shortly I'll introduce my sisters to you. But remember, the show is brought to you by Talia Rice, always coming home to love, Vodafone, Together We Can, and Onga, Mama's Helping Hand. Now on the show today, as usual, we're going to delve into lots of relationship messages. People have issues. And we're going to attempt to, just offer our 2 cents really and hopefully help someone out there. Just, treat us as your sounding board. We like that. And we like to, sort of share our opinions on some of the stuff that goes on in your life. So we'll be getting into all that shortly. But first, we'll go for a break. When we return, I'll tell you how you can be part of this conversation. And we get to meet my sisters as well. So don't go anywhere. And you're welcome back, Sister on City TV and City FM. Of course, we're also live across Sub-Saharan Africa on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. You know that already, don't you? Anyway, so today there are various ways you can interact with us on the show. I mean, first and foremost, you can send an email, for instance, to jessica@cityfmonline.com. You can find us on Facebook at Sister Live. Like our page, join the conversations that go on there. We've reached a milestone of 40K and we're looking to welcome a lot more of you to our platform. Okay, send us a DM. We like that as well. Or you can send a WhatsApp to 054-998-6996. Let's know what's on your mind. Comments are welcome. Questions are welcome. Just join us, be part of the conversation. Let's say hello to my sisters in studio today. One joining us all the way from Berlin. But yeah, let me start in-house first. Olivia's on my left and Eugenia is on my right.
Hello.
Ladies. So good to see you.
So good to be here.
What's going on, Eugenia?
Nothing much. Work. Working from home, working online, but making sure we keep Ghanaian children reading. Yes. But it's all good.
Yes. I love what you do, to be honest. Yeah, and you do it so well. So I might as well put that out there. Olivia, good to see you.
You too.
Yeah,
good to see you. Oh, I'm snacking on all sorts of weird things and I'm hoping to lose weight. That's all that's happening. When you're pretty stressed out and there's work happening and this happening, that happening, and you're like, okay, what's the quickest alternative? And just like,
trust me, I know. I've had like a couple of those months.
So true. So that's exactly how I'm feeling. But yeah, we'll work on it during the summer.
Where are we supposed to be doing some weight loss competitions?
Charlie, how far?
We'll do it. We'll do the WhatsApp group after the Me, you, Rosina, right?
Charlie,
I think Rosina is ahead though.
She is?
Yeah.
Oh, Charlie, Rosie, we are coming.
Seriously, we've been trying to do this for a while. Anyway, Claudia, how you doing from Berlin?
I'm good. Now we have life. I mean, we are now allowed to go out. So it's...
Wow.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
We can go out, but we have to sit outside. So it's better than staying inside.
Yeah, tell me about it. So what was the first thing you did when the lockdown was lifted?
I was lucky to be invited to dinner, so we had Greek dinner, so that was good. That was the first thing we did. And the others followed. I actually enjoyed that. And sometimes you underestimate the things you used to have for free. I've been sitting there and talking we are behaving like little kids who have been let out. It's as if we've never been out before, just because it was taken from us for 6 months. Everybody wanted to be everywhere. So it was fun, actually. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good. At least I can tell you're looking a little more radiant. It's like, let's do it. The outdoors works for you. So that's good.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us once again. All right, ladies, we'll jump right into our first story for today. It says, "Hi, sisters. I'm dating this super awesome guy, and I have never been this happy before. Somewhere last week, I noticed he was sad about something. When I asked him, he told me that his female friend he once had a sexual encounter with reached out to him only to inform him that he is the father of her 10-year-old daughter. According to him, the last chat they had was back in 2010, and she never mentioned anything. They were friends and they had sex only once, shortly after she relocated to the US. I hadn't been lucky when it came to relationships until I met him, and it has been nothing but happiness throughout. He says the lady currently has cancer, and that's why she needs her daughter to meet her father before anything bad happens. My boyfriend is very sensitive and caring. I asked him about his plans now, and he said he has to go and meet them and be there for them. I told him I'm scared, and he said he was scared too. I haven't been able to do anything right since then. I need some advice for him and myself, please. Okay. Olivia, my darling, talk to me.
This is a tough one.
Yeah.
It really is a tough one. And I can understand how you feel, and I can also understand how your boyfriend feels, because he had a connection with this girl. It was his friend, like best friend, for a long time. And one thing led to another one night, and then, she's pregnant. But I don't think it was fair for his best friend to do that to him. Knowing that she was pregnant, left, and then now when things are really bad, it's like, oh, you have a father, go find your father. So the question is, what am I saying? First things first, whatever is yours will come to you. Don't be afraid. It's hard. Because however we want to look at it, we don't know how strong their connection is. Because I think that he genuinely loves this girl. And them being separated or whatever may have taken a toll on him. And going back to that same environment whereby, there's a possibility that this child is actually mine. And based on the love he has for this woman, anything can happen. They could go back. You can't shelf your feelings or emotions. Some way, somehow, they always, if it's true and if it's genuine, some way, somehow, it always comes up. But I think that you should advise him to get the lady to do a DNA test for the child, just to be safe, just to be sure, just to know that, this is not some kind of phony story. She's about dying, therefore she wants to make sure that she can trust somebody with her daughter. So, she doesn't have anybody, so then you are the perfect candidate to leave her daughter with. But do that. Let him do that just to be 110% sure that it's his. The other question too is, in the event that this woman no longer feels the same way as he does, or he no longer feels the same way as she does, are you ready and willing to take on another person's child into your life? Assuming that your relationship goes further with this man and you end up marrying him, are you ready to take on his other child? Is that something that you're ready and willing to do? If not, you could also be looking at that angle. What do you want for yourself? Love is beautiful. Love is a great thing, but you should be able to love across the board, and you should be able to, love him and love his, his teddy bear or whatever it is. So, do you have the heart for that? Are you ready to go the mile with him? If yes, why not? With love, love conquers everything, if you ask me. But this is also not a time to fret. You can't force things. You can't force him to stay. You can't force him to love him. You don't know what the future holds. You definitely don't know. And if really she does have cancer, he is feeling obliged to be there for her because he genuinely loves her. But it will surprise you to know, if he's yours, he's yours. He could go meet her and it would just be friends. But his heart will be for you. But you can't hold on to him. Like a butterfly, you've just got to let him go. And like I said, if he's yours, he's yours. And if he doesn't come to, at least you had the opportunity to learn or to love one in a very beautiful way, or to experience love in such a beautiful way. It's a blessing. But, you can't force love. Okay. And you can't force anything.
Okay, so Olivia says let him go. What do you think, Eugenia?
Well, I think that the DNA proposal might not work at this time, considering that the woman in question has got cancer. No. So it would sound as though you're questioning, even if he has doubts. I think you shouldn't be the one to raise it. the man should get there and decide what he wants to do. He's been told that they've had a relationship, and I always say that so long as a woman can identify a man and say, I had a relationship with you and I had a kid with you, so long as the man can say, yes, we had sex together, it's possible you had a child with them. End of story. I am assuming that the fear that she says they both have is more of that again, I don't know what his fear is, because in her case, I think it's clear. Yeah. She's scared she's going to lose him to either of them. So there are two females. So there's the woman, his ex, and then there's a daughter. She could lose him to her as well. Don't forget that she's not met the daughter. This is first. Right. And your question, Olivia, or the point you raised about the fact that you want to also ask yourself if you're ready to take on another person's child. Now, this is a 10-year-old. They've grown knowing their mother, and then they get to lose their mother eventually, if that's what happens, and then now they're meeting their father. It's a troubling time for the child, bottom line. I think that in terms of her fear, I really cannot speak to his fear. She would be the best person to know how to. But I think in terms of her fear, your advice, Olivia, is probably the best. Your fear cannot stop him from going. It's not going to stand in his way. I've maintained too that I've been through something similar, and I learned that because I had outlets, I would cry and everything, but I had outlets. My outlets are my social life. So I had networks I could go back to, either my group of cousins, have a talk, have a conversation, go out. We sort of bash the man if it was a bashable incident, or cry over the mistake I did, and we move on. But point I'm making is that you can't, there was something that she said, that she hadn't known happiness until she met him. And I kind of feel those pronouncements we make sound needy. You really cannot build your happiness around one person. True. One person cannot give you all the happiness in the world. True. You may have found some kind of happiness, but that's weighty. That's really, and if they can't say the same about you, then you do know that you're burdening them. So like you say, I say, let them go. Let him go. If it was you who were the other woman, you would expect that he'll come back. And the circumstances under which he has reached out is dire. Let him go. And whatever will be, will be.
Whatever will be, will be. Que sera, sera, they say. Claudia, please weigh in on this as well. What do you think, really?
I don't really have a different opinion from what the sisters have said. And maybe we are overthinking it, but what is her problem now? What are they scared of? A child is in the picture. So for me, I'm very individualistic in this sense. I'm not even thinking about the man and the child. What does she want? In case that the man decides to keep the child, is she ready to raise the child as her own? She should be thinking about herself now and her interest and her happiness and her future. Is she ready to be a stepmom? Because I have friends who have declared that they can never be stepmothers no matter the circumstances. Is she like that? And again, why is the guy scared? What exactly is his fear? So for me, someone comes to you and tells you, I have a daughter with you. The first thing I think of is DNA. So we have a DNA test. We prove that it's mine. And it's not even about the situation of she dying of cancer. You have a child, you have a child. So let's focus on the child and the future of the child. Her cancer, I'm sure she has a support system, her family, and he shouldn't even try to make that his problem. The focus is the child, the future of the child. So first establish if he's his child. And if it's his child, what's the future? Are you going to take the child and live with him? Or is he going to go with the girl's family? Because I'm assuming the girl has a family and a support system. So is the child going to stay with the family as they figure things out? But it's still too early to worry about things you have no control over. So I will be thinking about, if I was her, I'll be thinking about myself now. Can I live with a 10-year-old, like a young woman like me starting my life? Am I ready to be a stepmom? That's the first question she should ask. Before she considers why the guy is scared, that they can always figure it out. She should think about herself. If she thinks she can raise the child, then she can include herself in the conversation that is happening now. Okay, let's have a DNA. Do you want to keep the child with the two of us, or do you want the child to stay with the grandparents? How are we going to do it? Are we going to get married? Are we going to go?
Hello, Claudia.
Seriously,
Okay, looks like Okay, go ahead. You were saying something. We lost you there for a second.
Which part did you leave me though? Because I've been going on.
No, just towards the end of your submission.
That she should think about herself and put herself
right.
first,
Yes.
and focus on the child and not the mother, because I'm sure she has a support system. Let's sort of like, what's the word? Focus on the priority, the third party in the whole equation now. What brought the two of them together after 10 years? And that's the child and the future of the child. Whether the mom dies or the mom lives, what is the future of the child? And does she see herself being a mother to this 10-year-old? That should be the determining question now.
Yeah, I mean, can't help but agree with all you ladies. I must say, though, I'm really curious why it took, like, for starters, if you had sex with this gentleman before you left for the States, why is it taking you 10 years to tell me as a child? That's so unfair.
Maybe she never even wanted a man in the first place. Some people just want babies.
Yeah, but so then continue with your life like that. Why are you reaching out to me now?
Now
Maybe
she's
it's because
dying,
you're
so
dying.
she needs
Yeah,
support.
That's not fair.
It also could be the circumstances under which they separated. Being the new man now, the man and the woman. It could be that.
But he said they were friends.
Yes.
They didn't even say best friends.
Yes, but see, that's the man's side of the story. Don't forget.
Okay.
His girlfriend is telling us
us
what he's told
she
her.
knows, yeah.
Yes, but normally any woman who gets pregnant, and even though I agree that there are some women who go out to say, I would rather not have a man in my life, I think listening to the age, you typically would want the man to be there as well. We don't know, for example, if she was, it could be anything. She could have been kicked from home and he was equally young at the time, and what have you not. It's really difficult to say. And I am thinking the only reason she's reached out is because it sounds very terminal, and the child has no one.
Yes.
Or may have people, but things that because you may have a living parent, or you do have a living parent, let me reach out to him. Yeah. So I take it as we don't have the full picture.
Yeah, of course.
And so the whys in terms of why she's now doing this came to mind, but I kind of quashed it, thinking we will never know.
Yeah, the truth is
We'll never know.
But it doesn't make it less shady.
No, no.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. But I mean, just let things go, and let's see how it pans out. That's the best that you can do at the moment. Try not to stress too much. If he really loves you, he's coming back for you, that's for sure. Yeah. So we wish you the best of luck. A couple of comments here, and Shiraz says, love is to sacrifice. Give him your support and hope for the best, yet be prepared for anything. May the good Lord be your strength. Sika says, I believe that if his confession is sincere and you still have feelings for him and see a good future together, you can still keep him. If none of the above applies in your case, then please let him go. George says, this is not Hollywood, though. This is Ghana. Please, it is format. Memuna says, hey, this guy can lie, oh. Hey, madam, this is just a format. Move on. So for 10 years, she's kept this secret from him. Then the woman should come down with the daughter to meet her father. Not he going out to meet them. The guy is probably married to this lady already. You don't know you don't know that most caring guys are the ones that can hurt you the most. Be there. You have every right to be afraid, because you know what? This dude is going to drop you soon. Move, you say. Wow. Boaz says, how long is he going for? If it is indefinite and he claims he is going to be there for them, then sounds like he is relocating, and maybe he is genuine. Ampa says he needs to be responsible for the child. Y'all can still be together and take care of the child if the woman doesn't survive. Akosia says, sis, he wants to leave you. He's lying. He's relocating to the States to stay with his baby mama. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. His documents are ready. Some men will show you. I'm surprised, like...
I know.
Yeah. Ken said...
People are just thinking the worst.
Yeah,
I guess it's meant to help you.
Ken says, something doesn't seem right with the story. He had a thing with someone 10 years ago, had a child with her, never heard from her again until now. She contacts her that she has cancer. So your man has to go and take care of them. Something does not seem right. He's not telling you everything, madam. Please sit down and have a thorough conversation with him. 1, he's going there as... He's going there as what? 2, is he going to stay with them or separately from them and take care of their daughter? Please don't get carried away with his sweetness. He's planning to ditch you for his American family. Please move on. Nothing will change his mind. All the best. And finally, Kelly says, at least the daughter has been born in a better country.
Wow. The bright side, I guess.
Yeah, the bright side. We'll go for a quick break. We'll be right back. It's Sister.
City TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access City TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access City TV on your television. City TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and StarTimes box. City TV, it's your world.
Welcome back, Sister on City FM and City TV. Your comments are welcome. 054-998-6996. Don't forget to prefix it with the country code if you're messaging us from outside Ghana. That would be +233. All right, so let's move on to our next message. It's from Beatrice. Now she says, hello, sisters. I'm recently single after 6 years of being in committed relationships, 2 of them. I'm only 25 years old. Currently in grad school in the US, and I'm not ready for marriage or a serious relationship. Now, I grew up in a strict home and lived up to my parents' standards all these years. Since I'm independent now, I want to be a bit relaxed, but I'm having difficulty approaching this. As a young woman with raging emotions and hormones, I want to have some fun. However, I find myself worrying about diseases, safety and security, amongst other things, because people can't be trusted. I also find that I lack confidence when approaching a man or a stranger because I feel like I have too many conditions and that's too much to ask. I'm not saying that I want to be promiscuous. I just want to be a happy-go-lucky person in a happy-go-lucky relationship, but not an open one. 2 questions. 1, what is your take on living freely and having fun before settling down for marriage? And number 2, how can I have this fun and still be safe out there? I feel like the people in my circle will judge me for talking about such things, so I'm really counting on your opinions. Thank you. And that's from Beatrice. All right, Claudia, I'm coming to you. If you have any solutions.
I think she needs new friends. If she thinks her friends are going to judge her, then she needs new friends. Because your friends should be happy that you're ready to rediscover yourself. And first of all, I want to deal with this notion of if a woman is exploring her options, it's assumed she doesn't have standards. That's just a patriarchal misconception. Anybody should be able to try their options out there. Do whatever you want within the standards that you have set for yourself. So first of all, what makes you happy? Not what your friends are going to think, what they're going to judge you because you are living your best life. You need new friends. That's dealt with. And for me, I'm all for women living the free life, enjoying life, exploring life, meeting men, meeting people in a safe environment. And I'm not even going to say that because she's meeting men, she's going to have sex with all of them. Sometimes just going on dates, just going on walks, just meeting different people from different walks of life. It sort of like broadens your perspective on life. It's not about rushing into marriage. And I'm happy that she's decided that she wants to explore her options. She should go for it. And in terms of safe sex, using protection, very, very important. And the way she presented her stories it's not going to be with people that she knows that she can tell them to go for STI tests. It's probably going to be one night stand, hookups, stuff like that. And that's kind of risky in terms of STIs and other diseases that's out there. So she should explore her options, but she should be safe, because sometimes I ask myself, what if the person is a serial killer? So she should even start to establish trust. Although she's getting to know people, she should move with people that she trusts, and not just follow everybody to their house or follow every man to their house. Like, apply common sense. Although you want to have fun, apply common sense that will keep you safe. Also, she can also go solo, exploring her body, finding out what turns her on, what turns her off, her sensations, because you can't enjoy with others what you don't know for yourself. So she also has to first explore her body, because she talked about hormones. So there is some part of sensations that she wants to experience as a woman, feel herself, the pleasantries in her life. So she should also do that as well. And most importantly, go out, meet men in a safe environment, explore all your options. You're an adult, apply common sense, forget about your friends. If they are judging you, you need new friends. That's my 2 cents.
All right. Eugenie, what do you think?
Well, I think that Ms. B needs to work on herself. I think Ms. B needs to work on herself. Claudia's advice is awesome sexually, but I think socially, it sounds like socially she's not ready. I think that what she needs to do is to find herself socially. What kind of person are you? Are you an introvert? From what you're writing, sounds like you're an extrovert, but on the other hand, you're worried what your friends will say. So I couldn't agree more when Claudia said, lose your friends. Lose your friends. Maybe, it will work best for you. You don't need people judging you. But it's another thing I tend to find that a lot of, how old is she again? 25, did I hear?
25.
Yeah, a lot of young women. And it's again how we are raised here. We do not have hobbies. We don't. So we just go to school, come home, chit chat, make sure you study all the way. And the next thing you realize, you're done with uni. You probably never did anything. You don't have a skill to say, oh, I like braiding hair and this is something that I do for fun. Or I like taking care of children, so I teach in Sunday school. Or do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
we just don't explore any extracurricular. Yeah. None. So you need to now find yourself, and even with that, you begin to also realize the kind of men, and not every man who comes along is meant to be to stay. Let me put it that way. To be that kind of man who eventually stays. Some may just be passing through, and you need to know which to let through and which to decide, okay, have a seat. But it depends on what you as the individual is also exuding. And from the sounds of it, as I say, socially, we don't sound ready. I would suggest join some club or association that will nurture some of these feelings that you say you have, maybe guide it in a better direction. I couldn't agree more when Claudia said that you want to be safe out there. There are wackos out there. So I don't care whether it's someone who is from your country or from your continent, and so you feel like, or they look safe. There are people out there who just think that I want to kill you because I can do it for the fun of it. And especially out there. Yeah. So we couldn't stress on that enough, that be safe, be very safe in wanting to do this. Do not also communicate openly that this is what you're looking for. It shouldn't really come out. You may come across as desperate or lose one or the other, depending on who's reading the signal. But I think that what I'm glad about is the fact that she's also been able to identify where her challenge areas are. It says, I was raised strict, and so I think I'm a bit stiff. So that's a good starting point. So once you know that, then you can catch yourself when you're being that. But trust me, in as much as it comes across as a bad thing, it will work in your interest as well, because you may get to a point where that being that prudish will save you from a bad or near bad situation.
Right.
Yeah,
I agree completely. Olivia.
So I'm going to tackle this from a purely Christian point of view. And you did say you're coming from a strict home. What kind of values do your parents instill in you? What kind of morals did they teach you? And you see, sometimes when we grow up with mom and dad, we feel like mom and dad are just being too strict. But they mean well. And it's their responsibility to guide us in the way of the Lord. And more often than not, it always ends up in our good. It's for our best interest. That's why they try to raise you up in the way of the Lord. Like my mom said to me, keep your body as a temple of God. Don't be at the wrong place at the wrong time, doing the wrong things with the wrong people. Because what's going to happen is that once you get all muddled up in all of this, you're going to sit back and feel guilty, feel regret, and you would wish that you didn't do the things that you had done. So they bring you up in the way of the Lord because, like I said, they don't want you to hurt. But you sound as though you've been there, you want to explore. Okay. My take is you can go have sex with whoever it is that you want to have sex with a condom. Stay all safe, like Claudia said. But my dear, once you have sex with people, you open up your soul to all sorts of things. You will regret it because you are not having sex in the confines of marriage. That's my personal opinion from a Christian perspective. And, sex binds you emotionally, your soul, you get into all kinds of soul ties whereby you're accommodating. Somebody has gone to sleep with 10 people, 20 people. It's a spiritual thing, and that's why for me, I will tackle it because I believe your parents raised you from a Christian perspective. You do that, and it's not you have sex and that's it. There's always more to just having sex. That's why it's such a blessing to do it in the confines of marriage, when you know that you're not going to feel guilty about having sex. You're not going to feel dirty. You're not going to feel bad. It's supposed to be enjoyed, every bit of it. Now, in terms of finding yourself, because I feel like you're like, you know that you shouldn't, and plus you have friends who sort of understand how you've grown up. You have your circle of friends are people who do things the right way, and you don't want to do things the right way anymore. You just want to explore. You can do 1,000,001 things, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with sex. You can find yourself so many ways without necessarily sleeping with people. You can meet people, you can date, you can get to know people, you can learn a hobby, like Eugenia said. You can travel the world. You can find yourself. There are 1,000,001 things on this planet to do, to find yourself. You can travel to some country where there are deprived children, there are orphanages. You can find yourself in so many ways besides having sex. And I feel like, unless I'm wrong, and I do stand to be corrected, I feel like you want to explore yourself a bit more intimately. And it doesn't come cheap, my dear. That's my opinion. I don't think it comes cheap. I really think that you should keep yourself as a temple of God. And there's so much you can do with your life besides feeling that mom and dad said, I shouldn't do this. So even though mom and dad are telling you not to do this, you need to ask yourself pertinent questions. Yes, they are telling me not to do this. They bound me. Okay, but for me as an individual, what do these values mean to me as a person? As opposed to they said don't do it, therefore I'm not doing it. Sit back, reflect, and think about how the positive blessings that will come out of just staying pure, staying holy, and doing other things. And you can save lives. You can there's so much. I don't even know where to start from and where to end. I just don't want you end up taking the wrong decision, because trust me, you see, you want to explore yourself, right? You end up in a nightclub. You end up with with a one night stand. You end up with some kind of, yes, you can have, you meet somebody who is like immediately, no, there's no condom, and then you probably do a few drugs or two, because in the name of exploring yourself, you end up having unprotected sex, and then one thing leads to the other. Most diseases out there, sexually related diseases out there, it's very hard to treat and it's very hard to cure. Like, for me, don't go out in the name of, exploring yourself and lead yourself into all sorts of dangers that are not necessary. I think that you can find yourself in other ways that would be a blessing to you and be a blessing to other people. There's more for your life. You're looking for some kind of inner peace. That's what I think. You're unsettled about something. If I were you, I would go on my knees. You're complaining about these raging hormones, and then you're going about raging hormones. When we're growing up, what did our parents tell us when we want to have sex and all that? They tell us, find a book and read, go and play ball, go and do something, because these hormones are natural, they're normal, but you should be doing them, do things the right way so that you don't have any regrets. I'm taking it from a Christian perspective.
So, I mean, I've heard everything you ladies are saying, but I smile when I read this because I can relate. From the way I was brought up, I didn't go to, for instance, something as regular, at least in my circle of friends, as a nightclub till after university. And people were shocked, and like, first day I went, I fell asleep. Like, and I'm sorry, I was so disappointed.
Yeah.
Because I was like, wait, so people just come, they stand around, old glasses,
and they're dancing
too loud. Yeah, and like, I didn't get the whole concept. And to be honest, that was the first and last time. Yeah. There's a certain way that when you're brought up, you might think, oh yeah, I want to explore, but it's not who you are. Like, you'll just come back and pretty much go back into that shell, if you can call it that, that you're comfortable with. Yeah. I'm saying, and I agree with Olivia, there are very interesting ways to still explore, just everything around you. People, explore relationships, explore new frontiers, for want of a better word, without putting yourself in danger. So I would say seek out these things and just stay safe, most importantly, because the last thing you want to do is regret. Usually just 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 minutes of pleasure could bring you a lifetime of pain. So just keep that at the back of your mind. And yeah, definitely go out there, have fun, but be safe. Okay? All right. So it's Sister, City TV, City FM. We will be right back.
City TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access City TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access City TV on your television. City TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and Star Times box. City TV, it's your world.
And you're welcome back, Sister, on City FM and City TV. Remember, your comments are welcome on 054-998-6996. You can send an email to jessica@cityfmonline.com as well. A message here says, hi, Jess, I'm very confused. My 11-year-old stepson bumped into his mother and I having sex in the hall 3 days ago. The mother tried convincing him that I was only massaging hair because we were not totally naked. The boy has been dull ever since, and we're confused. Would it have any traumatic effect on him? Is there any explanation I can give him that will be more convincing? That's what he wants to know. Eugenia, what do you think? Awkward
explanation.
I think it's his last question is funny. Explanation. So I would like to. I wish he stated the kind of relationship he had with him, seeing as there's a step relationship in there. But I'll assume that it's a healthy relationship they have. And I think that the big mistake was to have lied to an 11-year-old boy, even to a 5-year-old. These children know what time it is and they know what's going on. Once you were caught in the act, you do not lie to their face, because if they do it to you, you will read them the riot act. But you just did it as a parent. So I think that if he's that kind of open-minded parent, apologize about lying to him. I think that's the first thing. You will bring yourself to the child's level. Immediately you do that. Look, apologize for what I initially said. I was confused. I didn't expect you to be there. So I apologize. What I said wasn't true. And tell him the truth. You were having sex. He saw it.
Wow.
Yeah, and you see, and I think that I was having this conversation with a group of parents the last time, and I said, we as adults have perverted the body to children because the breast is to feed a baby when they're born. The vagina is to pee. That's the primary role of these organs.
Right.
But we label them sexual organ immediately. The child sees it. So the bum is used to do whatever is meant to be done with. So we end up drawing their attention to the fact that it is not meant for something else. But they have primary roles. If we're able to talk about vagina, what the vagina is supposed to do in its primary role, and the penis in its primary role, I don't think we will be uncomfortable having these conversations with children to begin with. Now, I'm not saying that therefore have sex in front of them, but as he clearly stated, it was an accident. So that when an accident happens, you're able to explain yourself without feeling awkward. You will feel awkward because you were seen. Ideally, he shouldn't have seen you. But you wouldn't need to lie. I think it's what it is. 11-year-olds, you know what they're saying? I mean, my 7-year-old at the time was telling me about divorce and step-parents and what have you not, because he watches it on TV. Yeah. So an 11-year-old boy knows what time it is, knows what he saw. Let's even assume he hasn't watched anything and doesn't know, but he knows what he saw. He saw something that wasn't to him normal, and they feel it. I remember when the first time I saw it, without anyone telling me it was sex, I was like, there's something going on. This is odd. This is odd. What are they doing? Why is he sitting on hair? So I think that if he really wants and especially because the son is his step, if he wants a healthy relationship going forward, because boys have a strong relationship with their mothers. And so he already probably feels like you're taking my mother away and you're doing something to her, I'm not sure, or I saw what you did and you lied to me. He's got to level with him and be honest. We're having sex. I'm sure you know what sex is. It's at that moment for the boy to say, yes, I do, or no, I don't, and then take the opportunity. This is what married couples do. This is how babies are made. This is how we become intimate. We enjoy each other. And it's something meant for adults. I'm sorry you came, you chanced upon it. You shouldn't have. And I really do apologize about that. And don't even do it at home. Decide to take him somewhere without his mother even being there. Man to man, if we may call it so. Now you are the man of the house. Man to man. And apologize. That way, if he has any, I believe, depending on the relationship you have with him, he should be able to open up a bit. Maybe not a lot, but a bit. The fact that you've even apologized, immediately, it makes him feel safer or it makes him realize that you are the bigger person. You actually apologize to me, a kid, which is not the norm. Right. But what else could you say? Go and compound the lies? I feel the respect will not be there from that moment you lied. And I work with children. I'm telling you, 11-year-old has the brain of what probably I was when I was 18.
Yes.
Today's 11-year-old,
so
they're way ahead of us.
Scary.
So that's what I think. Yeah.
So true.
So true. Do you agree?
Yes.
He should come clean?
He should come clean. He should first and foremost gather his thoughts, and he shouldn't look nervous around the child, because once you start looking nervous and, you would make the child feel more uncomfortable. And you fumble. That's the word that couldn't come out. You make the child feel very uncomfortable. So put yourself together and don't let the child bring the topic up.
Yeah.
Meet the child. Take the child out of that environment the child is traumatic. Whatever you want to say, whatever you want to do, he's traumatized. He's traumatized. So take the child out of that environment. Like Eugenia was saying, man to man, open, honest conversation. Maybe I wouldn't use the word sex. But I would probably use. That's what he saw. But but
they know it.
They know it.
They've learned it.
I would say, Mummy and I were being intimate, just to take away from, because I feel like saying the word sex. I mean, you showed him what sex was. You would just be sort of compounding him. Like, if I open, touch wood, but if I open my mouth to my daughter, even when we're having conversations about sex, I'm very open about sex with my children. So immediately you say the word sex, she goes like, "Oh, Mommy," and she closes in. So you don't want them to psychologically close, and immediately it's like you take his mind back to, this is what I saw, this is what it is, I can't open up anymore. So use words that are basic, words that are friendly, neutral, but not taking away from what you're communicating to the child. So once you tell them that Mommy and I were having an intimate moment, yes, we're supposed to have locked the door, but we didn't lock the door. But what you saw is what you saw. I do apologize, but it won't happen again. I mean, in front
don't come and catch us again.
Exactly. Hey, how can I say that on TV? Hey, that will happen, but we will be more mature. We'll be more responsible next time about it, and just hear him out, and just create more opportunities for him to relax and feel comfortable, and also know that it will take time for them to sort of relax because it's traumatic. Like, thankfully, I never saw my parents having sex. Thankfully, I always knew that when my daddy came back then, and then Mommy and Daddy were always in the room, but the room was constantly locked. So yeah, we could imagine all sorts of things, but we didn't know what was happening. But they wanted to have Mommy Daddy time, and that's all it was. But yes, as much as possible, have that frank, honest conversation, and then take it from there. And don't be too hard on yourself, or don't be too hard on your son, on the boy as well. Give him time. He'll come around. He'll get to a point in time. Actually tell him, you get to a point in time that, I mean, these things are meant for adults. It's meant to bring us together. It's meant to. That's how we show each other how much we love each other. It will get to a point in time we'll talk about more things and make a joke or two about it and see if he laughs. Yeah.
Okay, Claudia, what do you think?
I'm not really experienced when it comes to children, so all that the sister said, all that they said. But I think fundamentally, the person who composed the text is coming from a very African perspective where we think so little of children. So instinctively, when they were caught, the first decision was to lie to the child. So, like I said, the sister said, have an honest conversation with the child. Sex is sex. Call it sex. And now, I don't know about Ghanaian schools, but out here they are teaching sexuality in schools and all that. So I don't know if year 11, by then they've tackled sex in school in Ghana. Yeah, so for all you know, he's even been taught in school. But the whole act of seeing it in person was traumatizing because, I mean, theory and practical sometimes is difficult to link the two. So give the child the right information. You see, growing up, our parents lie to us about all sort of things, and you end up getting wrong information from outsiders, from your friends. And now these kids have phones. They're on the internet. Some of them even use their parents' internet more than their parents. And by 11, their friends are out there talking about things. So always give your child the right information. But go easy, step by step, like Olivia said, man to man. But the right information, call it sex. Sex is sex. You can give it all the lovey-dovey names, all the playful names. Sex is sex. He saw a man and woman having intercourse. So Tell him this is what happened, but most importantly, it's for adults. It's for adults who can make the right decision. Mommy and I are older. Mommy and I are adults. That's why we are doing it. So it doesn't mean you should go and try it with your friends. It's just for us to do, but we are sorry that you saw it. My 2 cents. Yeah.
So it won't happen again.
It will happen again. It will definitely happen again, but you won't see it.
All right, I'll just move right along to the next message. It says, hello, sisters. I'm 29 years old. He's 35. We were friends for about 5 years before we started dating 9 months ago. We love each other dearly and are planning to get married in the near future. We have also met each other's families. My concern now is he has a number of ongoing projects at the moment, and he discusses almost every step of the journey with me. Is it right for me to assist financially with the projects as we aren't married yet? And that's from Mami. What do you think?
Why not? Because if it were you, you would expect him to help you financially. Plus, you guys are in a long-term relationship that's heading somewhere. But the thing is, it could go either way. Because I've seen women who've invested in their husbands' businesses, and when the businesses thrive, their husbands are very, the money comes. They're like they don't want to have anything to do with their wives. So what I think you can also do is, if you feel uncomfortable, what you could do is tell him that I would like to support you in this business, but for the sake of our future, should something happen to you, touch wood, I want us to have some kind of proof or evidence that we supported each other, so that in the court of law, you have some kind of document to show. And when he wakes up tomorrow morning and he feels like you're not good enough for him, you have that document to show, and you can claim your percentage any day, any time.
I like that. Yeah. What do you think, Eugene?
Well, I think that, sorry, did she say he asked for help? Or
No,
she thinks
she's asking if it's right for her to assist him.
So that's my thing. If he's not asking, why are you thinking it?
She wants to be a good partner.
No. Why are you thinking it? The person hasn't asked you. You see, this is where then the expectations, and you're weighing the person down. So you're bringing in your commitment, and the man is going to read it in different ways, or other people are going to read it in different ways. You're dating. He hasn't asked you for it. So that's one side of it. The other side, you want to do it. I think, as Olivia is suggesting, be careful. I would say that, which is a principle I have. If a very good friend of mine wants money from me and I'm not sure whether the money will come back, or I don't want the relationship to be ruined, I'll give you what I can afford to part with. Mm-hmm. So if it doesn't come back, I don't lose sleep over it. If it comes back, great. Or if he yields, great. And I think that's the same commitment she should have towards this project. The project, you may never know, there may be other investors or shareholders in it. You have no idea. Yeah. So as I say, especially if you've not been asked, I kind of think give moral support. Moral support works. It's also support, isn't it?
Absolutely.
But what if it comes across as though he's complaining, saying that, hey, maybe my business, like, I need money,
she didn't say that.
He doesn't.
That's all.
What if he's implying and he doesn't want to open his mouth to ask her?
She still hasn't said that. Women, we can read implications.
Yeah, but something is causing her to feel like that, though.
This is what she said. My concern now is he has a number of ongoing projects at the moment, and he discusses every step of the journey with me.
Yeah.
Could it be because he wants assistance? Like,
thank you.
Or being torn and a drum out. There's something they say.
Yeah, something about if you don't talk about your problem. But,
right.
So if he's saying, I'm struggling, I need money and I can't find money. Oh, okay. So you haven't asked me. You see that you want him to ask explicitly. Then you see that's where Olivia's proposal then works. Because then you also begin to ask questions. Oh, okay. So this project, how many people? Is it just you, or is this and then the other? Okay. So why don't we just have an agreement then? Yeah. No, I want to support it. I want to be a part of the business. Maybe let me have 5% shares. Yeah. Let's be very professional about it.
Paper.
Yeah. But if you're hinting, it's like, then let's pray about it. Prayerful women are needed.
Claudia, you have the final word. Let's go.
I'm with Eugenia. You are in the spirit. Seriously, I feel sometimes women always want to please men, so they go looking for things. And you see, we do it in so many ways. A woman meets a man, goes to the house, starts cleaning, starts cooking, starts sweeping. I have to be wife material. I have to help my husband. The guy probably just needs a listening ear. Yes. Why are you assuming he needs your money? Why can't you just be a listening ear? We have counselors, therapists who just sit, you pay them, sit and listen. So you're even providing free therapeutic services.
Thank you.
You should be paying like 100 euros an hour for therapy. He's using you for therapy and you want to give him your money as well. My sister, don't you have any project you want to invest in? Mm-hmm. As a woman, don't you have a vision? The guy is doing projects for his life. What are you doing for yourself? That money that you have that you want to be an angel investor. Can't you start your own business? So that when you are going into marriage, you also have your house, you also have your car. You don't have to sit in your parents' house till you marry and then go and live with a man and you are converting his properties and his cars and always scheming. Develop yourself. If you have money, go and buy shares, go and buy stocks, start trading. It will give you interest. Yes. Why do you feel the need to insert yourself into a picture that you've not been invited to? He's not asked you. There are banks who can give him loans. Boys, they have boys who can give them loans. Woman, what are you doing for yourself with your money? It is your money. Obviously, you have too much money. From what she's saying, she has too much money. She needs something to invest in. And you see, sometimes mixing business and pleasure, it gets tricky. It gets very, very, very tricky because sometimes in a relationship, giving a loan, you might sign all the documents, go to court. He's just going to take it for granted if he doesn't want to pay. He won't pay. And it's not a crime to owe a debt. It is not a crime. You can just say, I'll pay you €1 every month. I'll pay you €1. Yeah. Your money is gone. So we are in love. But let's learn to compartmentalize our brains, our hearts, our money. At least until you are married and then you decide, okay, we are going to put our money together. But even with that, you put in some safeguards. And that is why sometimes when relationship ends, women are so distraught because they've given everything. I'm sure in addition to the money, she's cooking, she's cleaning, she's providing sexual services. She's already a wife. Assuming a role that nobody has put on you.
Yeah.
Sometimes women do things that they've not even been asked because they want to be wife or girlfriend of the year.
Yeah, you've made your point. I'm gonna have to cut in here, unfortunately, because we've run out of time. But yeah, I mean, spot on with your submission. I want to say a big thank you to our sponsors, Talia Rice, always coming home to love, Vodafone, Together We Can, and Onga, Mama's Helping Hand, for bringing us another exciting edition of Sister Sister, and to you, of course, who watches and listens to us every single week on your favorite station. We appreciate it. Sisters, thanks for your time as well.
Yay.
Really
Pleasure.
appreciate it. And, have a great evening. See ya.